It's not much I can take from 2. But it's probably just more an intent thing, just looking to score. That's probably what people saw if they were looking for something positive. There wasn't much I was offering there, so I think it was the intent, and then obviously to get out the way I did was unfortunate, but obviously the innings, this innings in particular, I think that intent from the first ball, trying to put the opposition under pressure, it was certainly a lot better.
Just in terms of that, was there a point in which you realised I'm just going to have to start taking the game on a bit more? Was it the first innings in Wellington, or even dating back to sort of that innings at the Oval? Had you just been just not looking to score enough?
Yeah, was there a point? I mean, if there was a point, I probably should have realised it earlier. I think sometimes a certain wicket forces your hand a little bit, and this was probably one of those wickets where it was a wicket where if they bowled well, it was very tough to bat. It was nipping around, but you could score the whole time. If they missed full, you could drive. If they missed short, you could cut, you could pull. So there was that nice pace in the wicket, which was good for scoring. Now, sometimes when you're playing at the Gabba or you're playing at Adelaide, where it's a bit tennis bally and slow, it can be tough to probably play a similar innings with that. You might be able to have that same intent, but you probably can't drive the ball on the up as much. There's a few shots that you can't always play. So it's finding the right balance for the different kinds of conditions, and it was nice to find it at the right time.
Coach? Firstly, Marnus is batting with the long sleeve. I think it's 5 years since you did it. Is it just a fashion statement, or was it
no, it wasn't. I mean, it was a little bit cold, so I thought, I'd go to the long sleever, but I can only remember 3 times batting a long sleever, so I thought I'd give it another crack. Liked it, so maybe it's here to stay.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the fact that you're back amongst the runs. Is it a thing?
Oh, hey, when you haven't scored runs for a couple of games, you'll take anything, so I'm certainly not changing for the next innings.
Just on your approach to batting, you said before Wellington that you wanted to focus less on what you were doing at this end and focus more on what's happening at the other end. So everything, even like you're walking down the pitch to Saudi and anything you achieved that by focusing more on that end?
Yeah, once again, that's something that I always want to do. Sometimes when the wicket's a certain way, it's sometimes or you're facing a certain bowler, but with the conditions so in the favour of seam bowling, and if they're bowling the ball in the right area, it just forced my hand and probably helped me out. Just getting out there, showing intent, trying to put the bowlers under pressure, or trying to get more balls in my scoring zones. And that was nice to be able to sort of create those options where usually, I've been a little bit of late sort of sitting and trying to grind out innings rather than putting the bowls under pressure.
How much did you need to run this?
You tell me.
Well, I mean, did you actually feel under pressure, or do you feel like you just, were due, or?
I mean, you always like to score runs, but in what way, what pressure? I mean, obviously, to score runs for my team, yeah, absolutely. I want to score runs. I want us to be winning games. I want us, when we're on top, to stay on top. If you're asking me, did I feel like I was going to lose my spot, I'd say no. I'd say no. But I mean, that's what the confidence of this team has done. The coaches, selectors, the captain, they're very clear with trusting in the players and trusting that we do have the best 6-7 batters in the country here. And if you're going through a rough patch, what we've been able to do over a period of time is everyone's picking up each other's slack. When someone's not doing well, someone else picks it up. And obviously over the last, since probably, I felt like I probably haven't been at my best for a while. But obviously since, got to stop saying obviously. But since the MCG, where I got those 260s, SCG, the 260s in each innings, I've been a bit short of runs, and just short of that big score where I'm really making it count. But it's nice to be once again back in the runs.
What's the realistic target to chase the Hawkins, which seems to be playing
I mean, as little as possible is always the starting point, but I think, yeah, the wicket certainly looks nice. It looks tough. Bit of seam there when they're bowling well, when we're bowling well. But it's hard to put a number on it, but we're happy to chase, hopefully, whatever they get.
Remember?
No, it's just when I went down to the performance lab, as we've spoken about before, we just had to find a way to identify each bat. So it actually wasn't the shed bat, and the shed bat's referring to when I sanded the back of the bat down in at the oval to take some weight out of the bat. So that's why we called it that. No, but this is the World Cup bat. This bat I used in the World Cup through 90% of the World Cup just gone. So I've gone back to it. Always nice to go back to an old faithful.
A couple more here, folks.
I appreciate that the track is tricky, but guys from last week about making a ruthless swing in front of the game. I feel like maybe this opportunity had another 50 more in that lead this morning.
Yeah, that probably lied with myself there to get us to that lead once we, Cameron showed it last week, had a bat with the tail, and I probably missed the boat there a little bit, taking that deeper and being able to put runs on the board. But it looked like it was tough to start. Everyone that came in to start your innings looked tough when they put the ball in the right area. So, I mean, you can't really fault people for getting out in their first 10 balls. When Mitch gets one that nips back, Alex unluckily, toes one to mid-wicket. So, it's hard to judge that. I'm happy with, Alex's option there, get that 45 guy in and make it very tough for the bowlers to bowl. I think spin certainly looked like at that stage of the game was where we needed to score our runs. But that's how the game goes. Yeah, we certainly could have, but almost a 100-run lead in the first innings, you'll take that.
Last couple, Graham and then Ben.
What was it the umpires were saying to you when you were batting outside your crease and marking your guard?
Yeah, so there's a few different conversations. One, I was marking my guard too close to the danger zone, so then my first step was inside the danger zone, which I don't think is allowed. There's still a little bit of conjecture, need a bit of clarity. But and then when I was walking out of my crease, it's a little bit like charging. If I'm doing it every ball, they can deem that is damaging the pitch, and I can get docked penalty runs. So when I was walking, it was just a matter of making sure that I started far enough back so that I was just inside the danger zone, and then moving into it. Or if I wanted to walk more consistently, then probably have to do what Greenie did in last week and this week, is where you're almost charging the batter like you would if it was a spinner, and I think they can't have too much fault with that. But the rule, the chat out there wasn't as clear as that. I think it was more a umpire's discretion of if they think it's affecting the wicket.
A little bit of a sample size now since Tony's last test. How does the really little batting order kind of feel to you as it's been changed?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, it's alluding to that, obviously Steve opening the batting, Greenie at 4. Once again, we've got the 6 best batters in the country out on the field, and that's what's important. Yeah, it's not gelling perfectly yet. Sample size is getting bigger and we're getting more information, but, from what we're seeing, we're liking where Greenie's at 4. He's batting really well. Even last innings, played beautifully again. And, Steve averages 58. So he'll find a way. There's nothing that I am 100% sure of that. He's going to find a way. It's just part of the game. Like you said, it is tricky up there. We haven't been playing on wickets that are very easy to start your innings on for a fair few tests now. So once he gets in, I'm sure he's going to make it count.